Welcome to another episode of Johnny Talks Football. We had another fantastic week of college football this past Saturday. A big shakeup in the top 10 with Oklahoma losing to Texas in the Red River rivalry game. TCU dodging another bullet, this time against Kansas State, being down by 18 at halftime and coming back to win by only 7 points. Michigan State only beating Rutgers, probably one of the worst teams in the Big Ten, by only 7 points. Alabama not playing normal Alabama football the first 2.5 quarters against a mildly struggling Arkansas team. There are a lot of matchups to predict this week. Before I do that, I'm going to say my current top 4 teams, my first 2 out, then my next 2 out, because things are so close right now. Now my top 4 as of right now is number 1 Ohio State, number 2 Baylor, number 3 LSU, number 4 Clemson. First 2 out are Utah and Michigan State. Then my next 2 out are TCU and Florida. Nothing at this point is current, as there is still a lot of college football to be played this season. As a matter of fact, this week marks the halfway point of the college football season. I find the current college football playoff system wrong. And truthfully, I don't think Ohio State should be the number 1 team. I think LSU should be the number 1 team. But I was just using those rankings as what I think the committee is making at this point, if they had to make a decision now. I personally feel like we need 6 teams, or even 8, because as of right now, I feel like at least 12 to 14 teams have a real shot of winning the national championship at this moment. I mean, if I had that power, I would make the college football playoff have more teams, but sadly I don't have that kind of power. And if you remember last week's video, I'm not sure if it made it, but last week's guest Larkin Weaver mentioned that you can't count out anybody in the top 15 yet, or any team with just 1 loss. I'm very excited to watch the second half of the season, though, especially if it's going to be as great and chaotic as the first half of the season. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get to the Week 7 picks. Alright, so I'm going to start with the Thursday night matchup. UCLA versus Stanford. Both these teams are coming off a bye week, but I do like Stanford to win this one, only because it's at Stanford Stadium. And I think UCLA is a little bit shaken by that upset against Arizona State. So I like Stanford to win this one, probably by about a solid 6 or 7 points. West Virginia and Baylor. Now, this was Baylor's 1 loss last season against West Virginia, which probably robbed them of the playoff. But I think Baylor's going to get their redemption. I think Baylor's going to blow them out in this one. Missouri and Georgia. Now, with the way both teams are playing, I don't really know if there's a clear runner for this one. So I'm literally going to flip a coin to decide who to pick for this one. Heads Missouri, tails Georgia. Tails, so I'm going to pick Georgia to win. Alright, Penn State and Ohio State. Now, I do think Ohio State's going to win this game, but Penn State has a chance in this one. If Christian Hackenberg can make enough plays early in the game to take Ohio State's crowd out of it, I think they have a chance in this one. But in the end, I think Ohio State just has too much talent on that roster. So I'm going to pick Ohio State to win by 14 points. Arizona State and Utah. I'm going to pick Utah in this one because I think Utah's running game is going to have a hard time being stopped by Arizona State's defense. I like Devontae Booker to have about 125 yards in this game. Utah all the way in this one. USC and Notre Dame. I'm picking Notre Dame to win this game because USC is having too many distractions right now. And after a loss against Washington, that just adds to the list of distractions. Oklahoma against Kansas State. Now both these teams are trying to recover from a heartbreaking loss last week. I'm going to pick Oklahoma in this game. I think Oklahoma is going to be a little more motivated than Kansas State because Oklahoma lost an embarrassing one. And Kansas State blew an 18-point lead, and I don't think they're going to be confident enough to win this game. So I like Oklahoma in this one. Iowa and Northwestern. Iowa's actually for real this year, in my opinion. And Northwestern is trying to recover from a shutout against Michigan. I like Iowa in this one. I feel like they're going to be more confident than Northwestern is. I'll take Iowa to win this one by about 13 points. Now, Alabama against my Texas A&M Aggies. Now, as much as I like Texas A&M's football team, they're my favorite team. Like, if you know me, like personally, you would know that. But I just can't bet against Nick Saban, so I'm going to pick Alabama to win this one, probably about 38-20. Michigan State and Michigan. Now, if you watch my video, I think it was probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, I said Ohio State and Michigan State, the winner of that one in November would probably be the number 1 seed for the playoff. But it took me a while to realize, with the way both these teams are playing right now, I like Michigan to beat Michigan State. I really think this is going to be a low-scoring game. Probably 17-13, 2017, 2014. I think Michigan being in the big house, it's going to make the difference this one. Michigan wins a close one. Now finally, to what I think could be the game of the week. Florida and LSU in Baton Rouge. Now we had a shocker in the news today. Florida's quarterback, Will Grier, I think that's how you pronounce it, suspended for the rest of the season for using PEDs. I was kind of shocked to hear that news, but it didn't really matter to my pick because I was going to pick LSU anyway because I think Leonard Fournette is unstoppable at this point. So I was going to pick LSU in a close one at first, but now I just think it's going to be more of a blowout, so I like LSU to win 38-14. And those are my picks for the week. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you next time. Have a good day, everybody.